The movie begins on what seems like a completely ordinary, quiet morning at a massive, multi-level public storage facility named Storage 24 in the heart of London. The employees are going about their routine daily tasks, completely unaware that their world is about to change forever. Without a single warning, a deafening, earth-shattering, the sheer force of the impact violently shakes the entire storage facility to its core, knocking dust from the ceiling and terrifying everyone inside. The employees rush out of the building to investigate the chaos. The horrifying truth becomes clear. A massive military cargo plane has suffered a catastrophic failure mid-flight, disintegrating in the sky. Huge flaming pieces of the aircraft wreckage are raining down onto the streets of London, with debris crashing directly into the storage facility and the surrounding neighborhood. Outside the building, one of the storage facility employees, Nikki, is trying to corral her panicked dog. Her pet, spooked by the explosion, runs toward a massive piece of the crashed plane. Following her dog, Nikki approaches a large, heavy military cargo container that is smashed into the concrete. The heavy steel doors of the container have been forcefully busted open from the inside. Nikki cautiously steps closer, peering into the dark, empty container. Suddenly, her dog begins barking aggressively. Staring deep into the shadows of the facility's walls, Nikki tries to calm the dog down, but the animal is hyper-focused on something lurking in the dark. Without warning, the dog sprints into the shadows. Nikki calls out, but a few seconds later, the barking abruptly stops, replaced by a sickening, dead silence. A deep, paralyzing wave of fear washes over her. Too terrified to investigate the darkness, she slowly backs away, pretending she saw nothing, and retreats into the safety of the main building. Meanwhile, the plane crash has caused absolute gridlock across London because of the massive traffic jam. Charlie and his best friend Mark arrive at the storage facility hours late. They are there to sort through items belonging to Charlie's ex-girlfriend, Shelley, following a bitter breakup. But the tension between the friends spikes immediately. While rummaging through Shelley's car, Charlie finds another man's jacket. Intense jealousy and anger boil over, but Mark steps in, calmly urging Charlie to control his temper before they head inside to face Shelley. Inside the facility, the manager, Jake, is dealing with the fallout of the crash. Debris has smashed through the roof, severely damaging the building's power grid. Jake orders the resident electrician to go down into the dark, isolated basement to check the main breaker box and restore power. The electrician descends into the gloomy basement. As he inspects the heavy metal breaker box, he notices something deeply disturbing. The thick metal has been violently ripped apart by something incredibly strong. Even worse, the exposed wires are coated in a thick, highly corrosive, white glowing slime. Touching the strange substance, he hears a bizarre, unnatural clicking sound echoing from the dark corridors. He cautiously steps into the shadows to investigate, but is suddenly startled when Jake appears behind him. Jake impatiently orders him to fix the power immediately and turns around, heading back upstairs, leaving the electrician completely alone in the dark. On the upper floors, Charlie finally confronts Shelley. His suspicion regarding her infidelity causes a bitter, emotional argument. But just as the argument reaches its peak, the lights violently flicker and the entire facility plunges into absolute darkness. The power has completely failed. Furious, Jake grabs a flashlight and marches back down to the basement to confront the electrician. The basement is pitch black. He finds the electrician struggling to light a small match. When the tiny flame finally illuminates the room, Jake recoils in sheer horror. The electrician has been brutally attacked. His chest is torn open by massive, deep claw marks, and he is bleeding to death on the cold concrete. Before Jake can process the gruesome sight, a terrifying, massive alien creature drops, landing right in front of him. Panic takes over. Jake scrambles backward, sprinting up the stairs and violently slamming the heavy steel door behind him to lock the monster in the basement. But the creature doesn't give up. It aggressively begins smashing its heavy claws against the metal door, trying to break through, oblivious to the deadly alien threat below. The group upstairs is still caught up in their personal drama. Charlie and Shelly continue to argue while Nikki tries to intervene. Realizing the situation is escalating, Mark pulls Charlie aside to cool down. Needing answers about the power failure, Charlie and Mark decide to investigate the storage units. The electronic security system controlling the facility has completely malfunctioned. The heavy steel shutters blocking the main exit have automatically locked down, trapping everyone inside the building. When their cell phones fail to get a signal, Charlie grabs a heavy fire extinguisher and aggressively smashes it against the thick glass of the front door. But the reinforced glass only cracks. It does not break. They are completely trapped. Meanwhile, Chris and Nikki decide to search the lower corridors for another exit. While Chris casually wastes time buying snacks from a vending machine, Nikki steps into the public restroom. Suddenly, the lights above her flicker and die. In the darkness, she hears a strange clicking noise. She nervously calls out, "Hello?" but receives no answer. Stepping out of the stall, she looks up at the ceiling. The heavy metal ventilation grate has been violently torn open, and the edges are dripping with the same thick, corrosive white slime. In the hallway, Chris hears a terrifying guttural scream. He drops his snacks and sprints toward the sound, bursting into a storage unit filled with creepy, disjointed mannequin heads. Inside, he finds Jake huddled in the corner, trembling with absolute mind-shattering terror. Jake looks at Chris with wide, panicked eyes and say, "He is going to kill us." Suddenly, heavy, scraping footsteps echo directly above them on the metal ceiling. Without a single second of warning, the alien creature bursts through the roof, grabbing Jake with its massive claws and violently yanking him upward into the dark ventilation shafts. Time passes, and Chris and Nikki have not returned. Growing worried, Charlie and Mark head back to Shelly to ask if she has seen them. The conversation quickly devolves back into Charlie and Shelly's bitter breakup, ending with a harsh sense of finality. To diffuse the tension, Mark pulls Charlie away, offering to go speak with Shelly himself to smooth things over, but the truth is far more devastating than Charlie could have ever imagined. Shelly wasn't cheating on Charlie with Chris. She had been secretly having a passionate affair with Charlie's own best friend Mark, while Charlie waits patiently in the hallway, completely trusting his best friend. Mark and Shelly are inside a private storage unit, continuing their illicit romance. Suddenly, a terrifying, unnatural noise echoes through the corridor. Mark quickly steps out of the unit to investigate, locking the door behind him. Charlie and Nikki rush over, but just then, the door to the storage unit unlocks, and Shelly steps out. Standing right behind Mark, the devastating reality clicks into place. Charlie stares at his best friend and his ex-girlfriend in sheer disbelief. Driven by heartbreak and pure rage, Charlie violently punches Mark in the face. Shelly screams and steps in to stop the fight. Disgusted and completely broken by the double betrayal, Charlie turns his back on both of them and walks away into the dark. Endless maze of storage units. Nikki, feeling deeply sympathetic, follows Charlie to comfort him. As they walk through the dim corridors, they unknowingly wander into the same storage unit filled with mannequin heads where Jake was taken. Inside, they find Chris. But Chris isn't moving. He is sitting completely still, frozen like a terrified stone statue. Charlie and Nikki try to snap him out of his shock suddenly. Thick drops of dark warm blood begin dripping from the ceiling, splashing onto Chris's shoulder. Charlie slowly looks up toward the metal grating. Through the gaps in the ceiling, he sees a horrifying sight. Jake. Half of Jake's face has been violently ripped off, and as Charlie watches in silent terror, the alien creature drags Jake's mutilated body away into the dark shadows above. Nikki, who saw her office scene, she scrambles out of the room. Mark and Shelly are coming to them and meet them. As Charlie quickly explains the horrifying reality of the monster hunting them, crazy, erratic old man who secretly lives in one of the storage units suddenly attacks Nikki. The group reacts instantly, tackling the old man to the floor and locking him inside a nearby room. When the old man regains his senses, they interrogate him, demanding to know what is happening. However, they quickly realize the old man is completely delusional and offers no real help. Suddenly, heavy booming footsteps approach their location. The alien creature is outside their door, It begins aggressively smashing its massive claws against the heavy metal, trying to break in. When the metal door finally buckles and bursts open, pure panic takes over. Chris, blinded by terror, sprints out of the room, abandoning the group. But his cowardly escape seals his fate. The alien ignores the room entirely and chases directly after Chris. Chris runs blindly through the maze, ducking into a storage unit filled with heavy winter coats. He holds his breath, hiding silently among the clothes. But the creature is a master hunter. It easily tracks his scent, rips through the coats, and grabs Chris. With brutal, terrifying force, the alien plunges its sharp claws directly into Chris's chest, ripping his heart out and killing him instantly. Knowing their hiding spot is no longer safe, the remaining survivors realize they need to move immediately. They discover that the crazy old man possesses a master set of keys that can unlock any unit in Storage 24. They desperately try to unlock a reinforced security door to escape the sector, but the old man's hands are shaking violently from fear. Just as the alien rounds the corner, the key turns. They throw themselves through the door, locking it securely behind them. Inside the security office, they turn on a battery-powered television. The emergency news broadcast confirms their worst nightmare. The creature hunting them is not the only one. The military cargo plane was secretly transporting highly classified alien biological weapons. Multiple creatures have escaped into London. The entire city is under a strict military lockdown, and heavily armed soldiers are patrolling the streets. Realizing that no rescue team is coming for them, the survivors know they have to fight their way out. The old man suggests they gather weapons and make a stand. The group agrees. Their only safe route to the armory is through the narrow, suffocating air ventilation shafts lining the ceiling. Charlie and Mark crawl through the cramped, dusty pipes, dropping down into a specific storage unit. They manage to secure a set of walkie-talkies to maintain communication. Crawling into another unit, they load up on Hammer and a massive crate of explosive fireworks. But as they navigate back into the pipes, the alien creature detects their movement. It violently attacks the metal ductwork from below, crushing the metal around them, knowing they cannot both escape in time. Charlie makes a heroic, selfless decision. He shoves the heavy bag of weapons and fireworks into Mark's hands, forcing his best friend to crawl to safety. Charlie stays behind, intentionally making noise to draw the alien's attention away from the group. Mark successfully drops back into the security room, distributing the heavy weapons to Shelley and Nikki. Meanwhile, Charlie narrowly dodges the alien's deadly claws. Dropping through a vent into a different storage unit, Charlie frantically searches the unit for a weapon, but it is entirely filled with children's toys. The creature begins smashing through the door. Desperate, Charlie grabs a toy dog to use as a shield. As the alien bursts in, it accidentally steps on the toy dog. The toy suddenly springs to life, barking loudly towards the alien. The sudden noise completely distracts the alien. Charlie uses the brief window to sprint past the monster, escaping into the corridor. When Charlie reunites with the group, the monster is right behind him, knowing they need a distraction. The crazy old man bravely orders the group to run. He stays behind, talking nonsense things to draw the alien's fury. The creature attacks, violently smashing the old man's skull and crushing his head beneath its massive foot. Fleeing through the basement, the group stumbles upon the mutilated corpse of the electrician. As Charlie leans in to inspect the body, the electrician suddenly gasps, twitching violently before finally dying for good. Next to the body, Charlie finds the electronic master override switch for the facility's automated shutters. Charlie and Nikki runs back upstairs to find Mark standing alone. When Charlie frantically asks where Shelley is, Mark cowardly replies, "There is nothing I can do." Disgusted by Mark's cowardice, Charlie punches him in the face. Realizing they are out of time, Charlie decides he has to kill the monster himself. Shelley is trapped. The alien creature has cornered her and is preparing for the kill. Just in time, Charlie's voice crackles over the walkie-talkie, calling her name. Using the distraction, Shelley pulls a sharp combat knife. She hid in her belt and fiercely stabs the alien in the rib. She dives into an industrial freight elevator, slamming the heavy metal cage shut just as the monster lunges. She quickly radios Charlie, giving him her exact location. Charlie and Nikki sprint toward the elevator, armed with the heavy crate of explosive fireworks. As they arrive, the alien is violently tearing at the metal cage, trying to rip Shelley out. Charlie and Nikki quickly ignite a massive bundle of fireworks, strapping them to another mechanical toy dog, and send it sliding across the floor toward the monster. The toy reaches the alien's feet, and the massive payload of fireworks violently detonates. The explosive blast severely burns and disorients the creature, forcing it to retreat into the shadows. But the monster is not dead. Blinded by rage, it changes targets and hunts down Mark. Mark is trying to open the main outside door and locking the heavy doors behind him and entirely abandoning his friends to save himself. The monster closes in on the group. They scream at Mark to open the door, but he stands on the other side of the door, staring blankly, refusing to help them. Charlie aggressively smashes the door with a crowbar, reaching through to force the door open. Disgusted by his betrayal, Shelley violently slaps Mark across the face, but karma is swift. The alien suddenly bursts through the ceiling. Right behind Mark, it grabs him by the head, violently crushing his skull and eating his face. The remaining survivors use the distraction to strike. With the creature focused on Mark, Charlie grabs a sharp, heavy metal pipe. He charges forward and violently impales the alien, driving the steel pipe deep into its chest, finally killing the beast. With the monster dead, Charlie uses the master override switch. The heavy steel security shutters slowly rise, revealing the outside world. Charlie, Shelley, and Nikki step out of Storage 24, bruised, bloodied, but alive. However, their victory is short-lived. Charlie looks up at the London sky and freeze in absolute terror. Hovering silently over the burning city are massive, city-sized alien motherships. The escaped creatures were just the beginning. A full-scale alien invasion has begun. As the massive ships cast a dark shadow over the survivors, the screen cuts to black. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy the recaps, PLS, like and subscribe. See you in the next recap.